morning and welcome to the May 10th, 2016 school committee meeting. We're happy to have you join us. This meeting is being recorded by East Hampton Media. East Hampton Media channels 191, 192, and 193 is looking for volunteers. If anyone is interested in helping to tape city government meetings, please contact Kathy Lynch at 413-203-1360. And we'd like to thank Tim Riley for taping tonight's production for us. Superintendent Follansbee, do you have some announcements for us?
I do have a few announcements for this evening. The next regular school committee meetings are June 14th and June 28th. The Parent Advisory Council will meet May 11th at 6:30 at East Hampton High School. The East Hampton High School Spring Play is scheduled for May 19th, 20th, 21st, and 22nd. There is no school on Monday, May 30th due to Memorial Day. The last day of school is currently scheduled for Tuesday, June 21st, and that really should be our last day. The East Hampton Learning Foundation Jazz Band, the ELF Band, I wanted to just tell you about a couple things that have happened in the district. They received a standing ovation after performing at the Pioneer Valley Excellence for Teaching Awards dinner last Thursday held at the Log Cabin. The East Hampton High School Arts Festival will be May 12th, 14th, and 19th, kind of all together in the arts. And at the Log Cabin reception, by the way, there are probably about 300 participants. So it was really an amazing evening for our band and for our district. Students in Ms. Clavalou's multimedia class have won honorable mention for the public service announcement they created for the Greatest Save Teen PSA contest in the Boston area. The winner's video and our high school students video will appear in the Greatest Save Teen PSA's Best of the Best DVD for 2016. The video will be distributed nationally to high schools and middle schools. Congratulations, Ms. Clavalou and your class. So exciting. Ms. Rose Guerra's student intern submitted a poem Darnell Whitley wrote to the Young American Poetry Digest. Submissions are judged based on the age of the student, creativity, figurative language structure, and poetic techniques. Darnell's poem was accepted and will be published in the digest this year. A complimentary book will be sent to the school to be kept in the library, and congratulations to Darnell. We had the first volleyball clinic for 7th and 8th grade students, which is currently running with 15 participants. And a girls lacrosse club has been running on Tuesdays and Thursdays at EHS. A grant was received from U.S. Lacrosse, which provided training equipment and training curriculum. So we're very excited to have those two clubs adding to our list of athletic activities in our district.
Very good. Thank you very much. Do we have any correspondence for this evening?
Not for this evening.
Okay. How about gifts?
We do. We would like to please vote to accept with gratitude and appreciation the following gifts. From the Helping Hand Society, the donation of $1,000 to the Maple School Student Activity Fund. And from Peter Gunn, a donation of $125 to We the People for support provided by Kelly Brown, AP US History teacher at EHS.
There's a motion to approve and accept. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor? We thank you very much. At this time, we typically invite anyone who might like to speak to us on any topic to come forward, and we thank you for coming, and we ask you to speak into the microphone and also tell us who you are and where you're from. And
sure, thank you. My name is Michelle Gagan. I live here in town on Clark Street. I have two children, ages 10 and 14. They are both currently at Whitebrook, and they've had their entire education, both starting in preschool here in East Hampton. I have to say that I love our town, and I still call it a town because even though it's a city, it always feels like a town. But the reason that I'm standing here, and I did prepare just a very brief thing that I want to read. So I've become aware that my experiences and resulting frustration and anger that I have with the East Hampton Public Schools are not just mine. There's a group of several concerned parents with their own stories. So through them, I've really been inspired to tell my story so that you all can hear it and do with it what you will. So I want to tell you about my son, who is 14. So a year and 8 months ago, he fell ill, and he has been chronically sick since then. He was first had symptoms in September of 2014. By the winter of 2015, he was no longer able to attend school. At that point, he was in 7th grade at Whitebrook Middle School. I asked the principal, Meredith Belize, about tutoring. She flat out said, "No, we don't do that." I had repeated communications initiated by me to the principal. At the time, I believe that there was a vice principal there, and teachers. There was absolutely no movement whatsoever. I was forced to hire out of my own pocket an educational advocate to speak for my son, who could not speak for himself. Only then did minor changes start. So fast forward to 3 months later, on June 11th of 2015, he was finally given a tutor for 4 hours a week until the end of the school year, which it was June 11th. That was less than 2 weeks away. I asked about a summer tutor because he had missed so much school. No, I was told, we don't do that. Again, I turned to my educational advocate, paying out of my own pocket, to ask her to fight for my son to get him tutoring services through the summer and into the school year. It finally happened. So fast forward to the winter of this year, 2016, I had another meeting, always initiated by myself, because Matthew was feeling a little bit better, and I felt that he could start attending school on a very limited basis of about 2 hours a day. And because of his illness, he could only go in the afternoons because he had to have so much sleep. I was told in that meeting, in no uncertain terms, that transportation was on me. I'd have to get him there. I work full-time, half an hour away. I also have a daughter. I need to take care of her. I was frustrated. Because of that answer, I took a lot of time off of work, had to work it out with my boss that I would work part-time at home, part-time at the office, and try to figure out transportation. And then I thought to myself, he has a right to this education. I went online to mass.gov and tried to look up some of the regulations, and I found out he is entitled to free transportation, and that what the school had told me was illegal. Of course, my boss was he was very supportive but thankful to have me back, but I felt embarrassed that I had to leave my job and my colleagues hanging for something illegal that the school had told me. So my educational advocate in one day talked to the Special Education Administration, and in one day got a van service approved and was ready to pick up that Friday. And so here we are today. I tell this story, which is extremely painful for me, because I want you to know that the East Hampton Public Schools have failed my son in so many ways to receive a public education that is his right under law. Not once did any teacher, administrator, or even the superintendent be proactive. Not once did anyone contact me. What can we do for you? What can we do for your son? Nothing. Every communication was initiated by me until my advocate got involved, and then they felt the pressure because she filed a complaint against the state. All of these people in the East Hampton Public Schools have remained aloof and reactive rather than proactive. So I stand here asking myself, why would I not choice out? Why would I continue to support East Hampton? I'm already choicing out my daughter. She's already going to a different school. My son, I don't know because of his health. I don't know. So I leave here knowing that this will fall on deaf ears, because My son's fight and our family's fight has been left on, just deaf ears. Nobody cares. And in fact, I have to tell you just one sidebar here. When I told Principal Meredith Belize that I had to, out of my own pocket, hire an educational advocate, you know what she wrote back to me in an email? She said, "That's a great idea." And I felt like saying, "Are you kidding me? How dare you say that?" She does not know the laws. Your administrators, superintendent, do not know the laws. I had to get an advocate in here to teach them how to give my son the proper education that he deserves. But a tiny part of me does hope for change. It won't come for my son, but I hope it'll come for others. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing your story with us. I just want you to know that we're not able to respond or discuss the situation because of our laws governing our public meetings, and we're not allowed to discuss things that aren't on the agenda. So we're not allowed to respond or ask you questions or discuss it at this time, but I can assure you we will be responding to you at a later time after this meeting, and you'll hear from us on this matter.
And I can assure you that I will look into this matter, and we will respond to you.
Thank you very much for coming to talk with us. Is there anyone else who would like to speak to us at this public speak time? Okay, we will move on then to a presentation that James Mott has for us.
However, James Mott was not able to be here at the last minute, so his staff is here.
Caitlin Grant.
Yes, and so they asked if they could come and give a presentation on their after-school program. It's Champions, and also they have a summer program and a program during school vacations. We started with the Champions program, how many years ago was it, Caitlin?
This will be our 4th school year coming up.
Fourth
for
school
16,
year.
17.
I learned about them at the superintendent's conference. It must have been 4 or 5 years ago. And we began talking with Champions to see if we could get after-school programs available for all of our students. We have grants that provided after-school programs for some of our students, but not all students would qualify. So Champions worked with us, and we got a program started at Center and Pepin schools. We also bused children from Maple School over to the Center Pepin School for the after-school program. I have had nothing but positive feedback on the Champions staff. They go out of their way to become members of our community. They've attended our PTO meetings. They've attended our cultural festivals. They support our schools in many, many ways. So I invited them here tonight to tell you a little bit about their program and maybe some of the ways other ways you partner with our community, our school community that I haven't mentioned.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Caitlin.
So as you heard, my name is Caitlin Grant. I'm the program manager for the area. I have with us tonight Nikki Lake. She's the other program manager for the area, and we have our site director for our program, Sienna Liccardi. You might have seen her face around before. So we just want to thank you guys for giving us the time to come in tonight and really showcase what Champions is all about. It's something that we're really proud of. So we've been with you guys now for 3 years. We'll be 4 years in September. And I was just kind of reminiscing with Sienna Lynn about how when we started that there were 8 students and it was only an after-school program. So as you'll see as I kind of go through these slides, we've grown tremendously and we're very proud of what we do with your schools. So let me tell you a little bit about what we do at Champions. So we are obviously before and after school. We every day have the kids come in, we meet with them, and we have what's called our program potpourri. That is where we get them all together, kind of let them know what's happening for the day, tell them about our weekly theme that we're going to be presenting to them, and we always make sure that the child's input and what they want to see at Champions is a part of the conversation. We want them to have an interest in what we're talking about. So then we plan for our 5 areas. Those are Take the Challenge. That's where we're doing our homework help, and we're reinforcing our study skills. Along with that, we're doing fun, challenging games and, board games and brain benders and teasers and things like that. I'd imagine that's probably our most popular area. That's where we get the paint out, let them get messy. We do a lot of art and drama there, and the children are just able to express themselves. And you can see that little lady down the bottom there. What's her name, Sienna? Chloe. At Nature of It, that's a lot of our creating a hypothesis and then testing it. It's a lot of science, how things work and building. So you can see them there. I do believe those were balloons filled with water that were frozen, and are they going to float? Are they going to sink? Icebergs. So that's our Nature of It area. We have our sports zone. That is where we're getting the kids outside. So thankful for that after last week, by the way. Side note, we're so glad to have them back outside again. We're teaching them a lot about sportsmanship when we bring them into the gym and we're doing the gym games. How do you play on part of a team? What's the difference between a good sport and a not good sport, which is so very relevant with these guys in this age group. Lastly is our snack attack area. That is where, obviously, we feed them. We don't let them starve in the afternoon, but along with that, we also have a food-related activity. It could be something as simple as creating a boat out of apples, like our little friend there has at the bottom. It could be learning how to read a nutritional label, or using food as a medium. Maybe we have the Fruit Loops out and we're making rainbows. Anything having to do with food and how we can use it, that would be a part of our snack attack activity. We also have 3 program enhancements that we plan for weekly and monthly. My favorite is our Read Right Now. That is just where we're helping the kids to, really get a love of reading at an early age. It's such a passion of mine, and I really try to send that out to our sites, and I think that Sienna Lynn will agree that, whenever we pull out the Shel Silverstein, those kids get very excited in that group. So we've been doing this for about 10 years at Champions, and it's really just instilling a love of reading in them. We try to incorporate that into other program areas. So perhaps we're reading Charlotte's Web. Let's bring it over to the Take the Challenge area. What do you think is going to happen in the next chapter? What happened last? Let's talk about, did we actually read something? How much are we comprehending? What do you think might happen next? The next is our Do Right crew and our character development. This is where we really help the kids to understand that we are part of a bigger community, and we do a lot of community events. So it's not only just the mentoring within our program, but helping them to understand that there's a big world out there and what can we do to help them. So you can see right here that our little friends were collecting food. There was actually a challenge, I think, between was it boys versus girls or grades? Grade levels. So it was, who can collect the most, kindergarten through 2nd or the 3rd through, was it 5th? 4th, okay. So we do a lot of that, and maybe Sienna Lynn could actually tell us some of the other things that you've kind of collected and done this year.
Yeah, so,
Yeah.
So in November, we do our annual food drive, and we donate all donations to the East Hampton Community Center. In December, we did a coat drive. In February, we had what was called our Sweetheart Night, so parents can go out and have a date, and we feed their children, and they just have to donate something, and it was toiletries. Not everybody has access to toiletries, especially if you have assistance. So we donated all of those to the East Hampton Community Center as well. Last month we did a penny drive for Miss Caitlin for the
MS walk.
Yes.
I did a walk for MS, and I had actually quite a few donations from our Champions program. They helped me reach over my $2,000 goal between all the programs, so I was very excited. But and then. So we do something every month. There's always a community event monthly. Thank you, Sienna Lynn. And lastly is our fitness enhancement, and that is where we're helping the kids to understand that we need to take care of our bodies. We get them moving, we get them grooving, we get them understanding that it's a full-time job to make sure that we're taking care of ourselves. One of the ways that Sienna Lynn incorporated last month's MS Penny War drive was by having the kids kind of do laps around the playground and seeing how many laps it would take them to do my 4.2 miles that I walked. So then we're incorporating it back into a math and, again, with the community involvement. So we also love to partner with the parents. As Sienna Lynn mentioned, you can see that our friends were loving their pizza night. That was for our parents' night out, the Sweetheart Night in February. So we do the monthly family fun events. I know that this month it's going to be a kickball, kids versus parents kickball game. And of course, we try to partner with the parents by making sure that homework is a very important part of our program. Every time I come to Pepin, I always hear Miss Sienna Lynn, Miss Cece, the kids call her, level 0, boys and girls. When it's homework time, it's level 0, and I think that's been a really great success for her. So we also make sure that we're keeping our parents informed. Sienna Lynn sends out a monthly newsletter letting her parents know what the events will be. We also send out a weekly communication letting the parents know what the theme is, what can we expect, reminding them about, you know, the family event, what day is that, reminding them that it might be a half day on Thursday, don't forget to pack a lunch, all of those kind of things. Our directors also send personalized emails with photos to our parents. So a quick little blurb, hey, here's Johnny at our Take the Challenge area this week. He was working really hard at this skill. We're so proud to have him with us. Thank you for partnering with Champions. And then, of course, we do our progress reports to let our parents know. That's an EEC regulation, so we do it yearly just to let our parents know how things are progressing with their kids. So obviously, we're supporting our families. We do accept subsidized tuition through the New England Farm Workers Council. We also have a 10% East Hampton Public School employee discount. So any of you that have kids that need, you know, to be in the program, you get a discount. You also get a discount off of our sister organizations, which are KinderCare and CCLC, also Knowledge Beginnings, which I don't think are any around here. We, of course, also do our sibling discount, so 10% off every additional sibling. So I just wanted to let you guys know, like we mentioned, the year-over-year growth. So Sienna Lynn and I were reminiscing about our 8 students just in the afternoon, and there was no morning program. The following year, we ended up with about 16 kids in the afternoon, and we started a morning program with probably about 5 kids. And then the 2014-15 school year, we had 32 kids who were enrolled and utilized the program at some point. This current school year, we're up to 53. So it's clearly a needed service that our parents are definitely using, so we're happy to be there for them. Then the next thing we started this year was the enrollment for the February and April vacation weeks. So we're there from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. and we're able to service an average of about 16 families a day this year. So again, it's obviously a needed thing that your families need here in East Hampton. We are now enrolling for the 2016 school year, and we are on track for our most successful year yet. So we're very excited about that. Best summer ever. That's what this summer is going to be. Just putting it out there. So we're thrilled to announce that we have the approval to hold the full summer day program beginning on June 22nd, and it's going to go right up until school begins. So we're going to, again, stick with the weekly themes. It's completely different for summer. We really try to, you know, rearrange everything that we do because, I mean, this is their summer. They need to have some fun. So we kind of try to rethink our area. What can we do to make it more fun? How can we, you know, make the reading area a little oasis? Let's get some things out that make it, you know, a little bit more fun. Not only are we going to do the weekly themes, we're also going to do some walking field trips as well as bus field trips. So I have been told that one of the walking field trips is to Mount Tom's for ice cream, which I'm hearing is worth it. I'm not from around here, but I hear it's worth it. We're also going to be doing weekly public library visits because obviously it's right there in the backyard. So let's get across the street, have them take their book out, bring it back each week. We're also going to do daily water play. So there's so many different ways to get the water play going. So we're just going to give them an opportunity to have some fun. You know, they, like I said, it's their summer. And then, of course, they're going to be having some fun with friends. So we are very excited about our summer program beginning. And I did want to mention that we are having an open house to discuss everything about summer. That's May 19th. May 19th in the regular program space, Sienna Lynn? Right in the cafeteria at Pepin. So that's an opportunity for families to come in to really see what we have to offer and, you know, how we can support them during the summer. And it's a really good, it's really good for the parents, not only because they're already used to Sienna Lynn, they have them in the school, but on top of that, they can pick as many days or weeks as they need. They don't need to block themselves in for the entire summer. It's a flexible schedule. So there's our team. So obviously our senior area manager, James Mott, Jimmy, he couldn't be here tonight, but then it's like I said, me and Nikki. And then the actual Pepin staff are over at the Champions program. We have Sienna Lynn, and then Amy's actually in the middle, and Alyssa's on the right. So we love our staff. So anyway, we want to thank the district for your ongoing support and partnership for the East Hampton children and families. So that's about it. Do you guys have any questions for us?
Any questions?
Sounds very impressive. It's
Well,
exciting.
we're very proud of our program.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I almost forgot to mention, we are very excited to also announce that we have a lot of new curriculum coming in the fall. It's a whole new enhancement to our current curriculum. We're very excited about it. Nikki and I will be going down to Washington, D.C. in the July timeframe to be trained on it, and we're going to bring it back up to our staff and teach them. It's going to be an enhancement on what we're already doing, but we're really excited because it's a whole new outlook on it. So they're going to have all the themes, and there's going to be a specific way to teach the lesson for kindergarten through second grade, and then the same lesson is going to be enhanced for 3 through 6th grade, depending on which school district you're in and what the ages are. But we're really excited for that for the fall. So something to look forward to.
Great. Thank you so much, Caitlin.
You're very welcome.
It has been, as I said, a very nice partnership with our district, and I particularly am impressed with the way the people who are working at Champions do participate in many of our school activities and support us in those school
I know
activities,
that
certain
Sienna
drives.
Lynn was just here for cultural night, and
That's right.
you know, we were just talking about how she's going to attend the ice cream social for the PTO, and we've also, not only have we been attending the PTO meetings, we've also offered babysitting for parents who wanted to attend but couldn't because they have their kids.
Oh,
So
that's
we
cool.
offer that as well. And I know, I'm trying to think there's other ways that we've kind of been around, and I know that we just got everybody at Pepin, their PDD was last Friday, and we offered lunch for the teachers for Teacher Appreciation Week. So
That's right. I knew I had heard of one other thing that you had done.
so we
recently,
try to do
which-
that once a year for
lovely.
the teachers. So
Wow, that's
great.
Nice.
please go ahead.
The hours before and after school
So we
are-
start at 7 a.m. and
Okay.
go to when school starts,
Okay.
and then right from dismissal until 6 p.m.
Wow.
And like I said, on the full day programs, it's 7 to 6, and I think in summer it's going to be 7 to 5:30.
Wow, that's excellent.
That's
Very
really
excited.
That's
It's
wonderful.
been obviously been a great success here, so we just can't wait to continue our partnership.
Great.
We have flyers regarding our program over on the table, and my business card is there. So if anybody should need anything, or if you have follow-up questions or anything that you need, feel free to reach out to us.
Okay.
Anything else for me?
No? I think that was wonderful. Thank you, Caitlin.
Thank you.
Thank
so
you.
much.
We appreciate you all.
Thank you for letting us be a part of it.
Okay, we'll move on to the next portion of our meeting, which includes reports from our subcommittees. I don't believe the Finance Subcommittee has met since our last meeting. Correct me if I'm wrong, anyone? And the Policy Review Subcommittee, you do have some information to share.
Yes, so, sorry, I have to scroll to the top. So we're gonna do a first reading of some new policy, which we talked about briefly at the last meeting, which is just an extra sentence added to our emergency plans, which was required by the state, and which we were already doing, so it's easy enough. So do I just read the sentence that's in, like the new one, or do I have to describe where it is, or?
Sue will type.
Yeah, you can.
Just a motion.
Oh, okay, so, do I just say like motion to, okay, I'm, motion to approve the first reading
Of the emergency plans.
of the emergency plans.
Policy.
Policy.
Great, is there a second? Second. Any discussion? All those in favor? Motion passes. Thank you very much.
Thank you for all the prompting.
Okay, and the minutes, Sue, the minutes don't need to be approved, correct? Okay. So moving on to the Collaborative for Educational Services, not yet, correct?
No update till the end of this month.
End of the month, okay, very good. And we have Alexis White here as our student representative, and she has an update for us.
Yeah, I know that we have our spring play. I know you mentioned it earlier, but it's it's a play based on the Agatha Christie's book, and Then There Were None. It's a murder mystery. It's happening the 19th to the 22nd. feel like the times are 7. It's probably something like 6:30, 7. 6. Yes, 6, 7, 7, 2, respectively, to those days. That is next week. Let's see, we are coming up on the end of the year for the seniors, so there's a lot happening with that. Graduation is June 3rd, our last day is the 27th, and that's exciting. AP tests are going well, and they'll be over by the end of this week. Prom was great. We had a great venue, great food, great music done by Mr. Demento, our English teacher, or one of the English teachers. It was great. Let's see, the community barbecue, that's happening on June 10th. I know Student Council is partnering with the World Language Club to put that on for everyone in the community, people who have supported us, and just to give thanks back to them. That same day, right after the community barbecue, is the alumni show, which is a variety show. A graduate, an alumni of our, what's his last name? I know his first name is Manny, definitely, because I talked to him a little bit, but I don't remember his last name. He's putting a lot of work into it, collaborating with Miss Davis, our drama teacher, and he's going to put on that show, and it's going to be great. I love the variety shows. I'll probably be in it somewhere. Yeah.
Did you say that was June 10th?
June 10th.
Okay.
Yep, right after the community barbecue. Well,
Great.
yeah. I believe that's all.
Now, is that part of the community barbecue, or is it a separate event
It's a separate event
that
that is
happens immediately following?
Yes.
I see. Okay.
Very convenient.
Okay, great.
Yep. It'll be great.
Well, we'll look forward to seeing you in it, Alexis,
Thank
right?
you.
So then, your last meeting with us will likely be the next meeting.
June 14th,
Mhm.
probably. We're hosting elections 2 weeks, in 2 weeks.
Very good. Thank you very much.
No problem.
Okay, let's see. Next, we have an other category, and I'd like to interject something in this category quickly for our school committee members. We need to set up a work session, and probably that should happen next week, if we could make that happen with everyone's schedule. There's 3 things that we need to discuss at this work session, or actually work on, and one is talking about the superintendent evaluation process, setting up our schedule and our plans going forward for that process for the end of this year. We also need to talk and follow up on our donor appreciation plans. We've discussed it briefly a few times, where we just would like to follow up on some of the things that we had, action elements we had laid out previously, and would like to follow up on all of that with this committee. And the third topic or discussion is our parent feedback survey for the end of the year. So I'd like to touch base with everyone on that and talk about a specific plan for that. So what I'll do is send out an email tonight and throw out some dates and times for next week and see what works, what we can put together with everyone's schedule.
Sounds great.
Okay, terrific. All right, moving on, we have the superintendent's report.
Yes, and I have more exciting things for you all to see tonight. I have Eileen Clavelu, who is going to give us a presentation on the East Hampton Arts Festival. Eileen has been in charge of this arts festival for a number of years, and we're doing it a little bit differently this year. So Eileen, if you want to come to the podium and tell us a little bit about that and about all the exciting events that are going to be going on here in the next couple weeks.
I got that postcard.
Yeah, it's a great postcard, isn't it?
Yeah. It's on the refrigerator. All right. So, I'm glad to hear you all got your postcards. This was created by a graphic arts student, Colin LaFountain. So, As you can see, we have these three components to the Arts Festival this year. Normally, we had a show at the Old Town Hall, at the LUC Gallery and ECA Plus Gallery. Flywheel participated. We took over the whole building. And this year, it's shifted a little. We've changed things around. So we have these three components this year. And the first is an opening on Thursday, May 12th, this Thursday, at the high school from 5 to 7 p.m. And all art and media art classes will be highlighted. And then at 7, this spring concert will be performed in the auditorium. And then Saturday, this Saturday, the 14th, we'll have a show called Connections, open during Art Walk at the Old Town Hall, 43 Main Street. And that show will present work from the high school and center school that was created by our students in response to the work of visiting artists, whose work will also be in the show. So I think it'll be a really fun show to have the collaborations evident and visible. And that will open from 5 to 8 p.m., again, this Saturday. And then the third component, which has been mentioned, the spring play, And Then There Were None, by Agatha Christie, running from Thursday, May 19th through Sunday, May 22nd. And it has the times there. So, for the past 9 years, East Hampton High School has held an annual arts festival at the Old Town Hall. We've received funding from the East Hampton Learning Foundation to collaborate with Jean-Pierre Pache, who is pictured here, with my student Ryan Flory. He's of the Big Red Frame Gallery and Big Red Frame and LUC Gallery, and he helps prepare students' work for exhibition by teaching the students how to prepare their work, which is a really cool thing, and it's not something that I'm aware of that happens just about anywhere else. So Mr. Pache only charges us for materials. All of his labor and vast amounts of time, I will add, are donated. He and East Hampton City Arts, ECA Plus, also donate their gallery space for a month, which is quite a sacrifice on their part. And when work does sell, they also don't take any commission. So it's entirely a really big donation. So he helps them, the students that I bring in, pick out a mat board, pick out a frame that complements their work. And then on the next trip to the gallery, he'll order the materials. And then students learn how to cut the mats, build the frames, cut the glass, and they put it all together to actually frame their work. And most students are really amazed at how much work is involved in framing, first of all. I think just about everybody says that on the way back to school. Wow, I didn't know. And all of them are amazed at how their work is transformed by a frame. So it's really fun to see that process taking place. This year we had a little bit of a scramble for funding because our ELF grant didn't go through. And the Collaborative for Education very generously stepped in to enable us to continue our work. They particularly liked the exhibition preparation training that our students receive as a part of the goals that the Collaborative has in training students for career readiness. So that was a big draw for them. Another aspect of our work that the Collaborative liked was an initiative that our art teacher, Amy Davis, music teacher, Sean Julius, and I had this year to bring visiting artists into our classes. We have a remarkably rich field of local artists who have a great deal to offer, and the Collaborative helped us to pay them a small stipend to come in and show their work, talk about their careers, talk about how they make a living as an artist, and then the artists give the kids a project, which is really, really cool and fun. So here we see one of our visiting artists, Mark Guglielmo, who is from Northampton. And he does large photo collages in the style of David Hockney's 80s photo collages. If you're familiar with them, do look them up. If you're not, they're really great. And so they're made with actual snapshots. They're not just photoshopped, which is what I normally teach them. And so Mark brought in these huge pieces. He showed slides, but he brought in a couple of actual pieces that were enormous, and the kids were blown away by them. And he gave them a different project, a portrait. Oh, so here he is with one of his pieces. So it's made of, I can't say how many thousands of little snapshots in there. He gave them a portrait project, like a portrait collage project, and they did that. They enjoyed it, but then they started kind of looking online at more of his work, and they said, would you guys like to do one of those? And they were all excited, so we did that too. So, oh, here's some of the portrait collages. Two of my students with their framed portrait collages. So the students struggled with some of these projects, but generally really loved the work that they ended up doing. And all of us, Amy, Sean, and I, thought that our collaborations were really successful. We really enjoyed this process, and the kids did too. Artists did too, which was nice. So the best part was that the artists were able to expose our students to other types of art and strategies that we wouldn't necessarily get to. And they were very excited about creating art that was a bit outside of the realm of what we normally are able to work on with them. So as teachers, I think each of us felt really energized and inspired by the work and the ideas that the visiting artists were able to bring into our classroom. So it was a lot of fun. So here are some of the photo collages that the kids did that are in the show at the Old Town Hall. And illustrator Chris Murphy, who's pictured here, came last October and did a greeting card project with my Graphic Arts 1 classes. And those resulting greeting cards with some of Chris's work will also be in the Connections show. And he came in to drop off his work, and he had seen some of the greeting cards, but he saw all of them together, and he was really very pleased, so it was nice. And this is one of our little greeting cards. This is another. This is a student who owns cats.
That's a good genre of card.
So this is artist Marty Klein. He gave students his background in development as an artist, and he does what he calls scanography. They're actual composed pictures he does on a scanner, and I always do a scanning project, but not like this. So it was, again, really fun to kind of tweak things and shift things around. So some of Marty's work and the student work that resulted will be in the show. And this is one of the scanography pieces by one of my students. And this is a studio art response to Susan Hall, who came into Amy Davis's 3D art class and did a ceramics project with students. So some of Susan's work will be in the show with resulting student work. This is another piece. And here we have Sue's kindergarten class at Center School. They'll also be part of this Connections exhibit at Old Town Hall, which she will tell us about. So her class has been working with artist Christine Keneally on a large mural project. And all of that artwork will be on display. And I have to say, the mural project just blew me away. It's really, really quite wonderful. I really loved seeing it. So these are some pieces of 2D art that will be in the high school show. So that's the other component, is this opening on May 12th. This is a photo collage from images made during a trip to Art in the Orchard that we took last fall. This is the same student who did the cat greeting card. You can tell there's a certain sensibility there. So that show will be open again from 5 to 7 with the spring concert at 7. I take little walking trips with the kids, especially when the weather's nice. And so they do panoramas from our walking trips. So this is a pond panorama. Will be in the show. And the last component, And then There Were None by Agatha Christie, again, Thursday, May 19th through Sunday, the 22nd. So we invite all of you to any and all of our Arts Festival components. So thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you, Eileen. What a wonderful presentation.
Terrific. Wow.
Any questions or else? It was very thorough.
Yeah, very thorough.
Oh, good.
The work is beautiful.
Oh, good.
It's really nice.
Yeah, they have to say they do good work. It's nice. It makes it fun.
That's great.
And we encourage everyone in the community to come out to the Arts Festival. I think there are going to be so many wonderful things to see and to do, and it's just a very exciting time for us. And Art Walk is the unveiling. You're going to be talking about that. It's going to be happening at the same time as Art Walk, unveiling of the K mural. So Sue Pouliot's going to tell us more about that now.
Nice transition.
Thank you so much, Ms. Clavel.
Make sure you're. Do I close this? No, you're good. Just stick it in here. Let me do it. Whatever you want to do. Okay. Do you need me to stand here?
How about when you do that first then?
Okay.
So there was music. I don't know where the music is, but that's all right. So these are just slides that we took during the whole process of creating the mural. So I'll let you watch it and then I'll talk about it.
Sue, when did you start this project?
Well, this really started in September when you sent us, Nancy had sent out a memo saying that there was opportunities for an art grant if anybody was interested. And I thought about it, and I've never wrote a grant before, so I said, maybe I'll try this. And many years ago, I had seen a piece of artwork done by a whole school system, and it was a mural that was absolutely, it stayed with me after I saw it. And so when she gave us the information, I thought about it, and I thought about it, and I said, well, what can we do? And because it was in September, that's when we get a lot of memos from a lot of paperwork, and at the top is the logo, East Hampton, a great place to learn and grow. And then I said, wouldn't it be nice if we could somehow create an art representation of that logo, because it means so much, and it's so true from my perspective, being part of East Hampton, growing up, having my children grow up in East Hampton, and teaching in East Hampton. So I kept thinking about it, and then one night, I like to call them my sleepless in East Hampton nights, the mural popped in my head, and then I said, wouldn't it be, so that's how I got the idea for it. And so then I, because the kindergarten team we work really well together and it's cross-district, I thought, wouldn't it be neat if all the kindergarten classrooms, Center, Maple, and Pepin, worked on this together. So then I approached Nadine Pomakis, who's the art teacher for all 3 schools, and I said, I have this idea. And so she said, well, can you, so I told her about it, and she said, yeah, I think we could do it. So I said, okay. So I started to write the grant, and a lot of people helped me. I had a lot of resources. Burns helped. Some people at the school, some people at the high school helped me. So it was a lot of people helping to make this happen. Because I had never written a grant before, I didn't even know the process of it, and I didn't know if I was going to get it. But then in December, I got a letter saying, you've been awarded this amount, go for it. And I said, oh boy. So then I went back and I talked to a lot of people, the principals, everybody was on board for it. And so then after, in January, we started talking to the kids about it, and we asked them to think about what makes East Hampton so special, what makes coming to school so special. And so that we gave the kids 4x4 squares of paper, and then we asked them to draw pictures. And they did. So we had there were a lot of ice cream cones. But then we had them practice their drawings a few times. In the meantime, Burns, Maxie, I said, I've got this idea, but we need someone to help us with it, to get the actual mural, because I didn't know how to do that. So she connected us with Christine Keneally, who's a mosaic artist who also lives in East Hampton. So she was part of the grant process, and so she worked with us, helping us figure out what we needed to create the tiles. And she took all the tiles, and then she made 3 murals out of them. I also contacted Chris Murphy, who is also active in the school, and I said, you know, we need a specialty tile that has the logo that says a great place to learn and grow, and none of us really felt like we had the artistic ability to do it, so he did that for us. There have been so many people who have helped with this project, and it really, to me, just enforces the idea that East Hampton is a great place to grow, to learn and grow, because the sense of community in this project is incredible. Even today, there were volunteers who helped do the installation, so it's at the ECA Plus Gallery. It looks beautiful. I'm so excited for people to come and see it. And the kids, you know, they made that one little tile. They haven't seen them all together, and I have a little sneak peek of what it looks like, and so I showed some other teachers today, and they're like, there's mine, there's mine, there's mine. So I know the kids are gonna do the same thing. So I'm hoping that everybody enjoys it. Christine, the artist who put it together, said that every time she unfolded a tile out of the box that I had given her, she said she couldn't help but smile. So it's just so happy and so vibrant and so wonderful. I think everybody will be happy to see it, and I welcome you to come.
And so, Sue, what's the date? And you said it's
So Saturday during the art walk, 5 to 8 at the ECA Gallery at Old Town Hall on Main Street. So we're really looking forward to it.
Great.
For everybody seeing it.
We encourage everyone to come and see it. I've heard it's spectacular. I can't wait to see it.
Thank you.
I'm sure it'll make your day if you're able to get there and see it. Thank you, Sue.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Any other comments or questions? We're very grateful to have you teaching our children and bringing such creative, great ideas and projects for them to do, and we're thankful for both of you.
We are very thankful to have such talented people as part of our faculty, and we so much appreciate you coming here this evening. And I was just going to go get your flash drive.
Okay, so moving on, we have our report on our school choice openings for the school year of 2014-15 that needs approval. So I'm wondering if we would have a motion to approve that, or if we have discussion that wants to take place first. Any questions?
I
I
More
move
questions?
we approve it.
Okay, we have a motion to approve. Second?
I made a motion to approve.
And I seconded it? Seconded.
No other questions, discussion? All those in favor? Motion passes. Okay, next we have our minutes from the previous meeting. Minutes from April 26th, 2016. Do we have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And we have warrants and payroll.
For payroll, I move to approve this.
I'm sorry, oh, we have 2 minutes?
2 minutes.
Oh, I'm sorry. We have April 26th, and we have,
April 29th.
The school committee special meeting.
oh, I'm sorry, forgot about, special meeting on April 29th. Do we have a motion to approve those minutes?
Motion to approve.
Second?
All those in favor? Motion passes. Thank you very much. Okay, now moving on to our warrants and payroll.
Sure. For payroll, I move to approve the school payroll dated May 12th, 2016 in the amount of $458,147.81.
Second.
Okay, there's been a motion and it's been seconded to approve the school payroll dated May 12th, 2016 in the amount of $458,147.81. All those in favor? Motion passes.
For accounts payable, I move to approve the accounts payable authorization for payment dated May 12th, 2016 in the amount of $316,867.62.
Second.
There's been a motion and it's been seconded to approve the accounts payable authorization for payment dated May 12th, 2016 in the amount of $316,867.62. All those in favor? Thank you very much. Motion passes. Does that cover it for this week?
Out-of-state field trip.
I just,
Oh,
yeah,
for
from the
next.
warrants and payroll.
Sorry.
Okay, yeah, okay.
For next week.
Yes, we have an out-of-state field trip request for East Hampton High School students to go to New York City, I believe, for the Museum of Modern Art, as I recall.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Do we have a motion to approve that field trip?
Motion to approve.
Second.
It's been seconded. Motion to approve the field trip on May 19th, 2016 with Mr. Brown and Ms. Clavalou to the Museum of Modern Art in New York City. It's been seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you very much. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.